Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this regularly scheduled meeting of the Board of Education. Today is June 9th, 2020. We are holding this meeting virtually in accordance with the Governor's executive order. Ellen, can you take roll call, please?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Carey. Good evening, everyone. Mr. Cassio? Mrs. Evans?
Here.
Mrs. Granato?
Here. Somewhere.
Mr. Lesser?
Here.
Mr. Michaels?
Here.
Mrs. Paradise?
Present.
Mr. Riley?
Here.
Vice Chairperson, Mr. Healy? Chairperson, Mr. Carey?
Here.
And
Thank you,
Wethersfield,
Oh,
pardon me?
keep going. No, keep going, sorry.
Oh, and Wethersfield High School Student Representative, Mr. Isaac Santos.
Here.
All present.
And in case this is Isaac's last meeting, can you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please, Isaac?
Sure thing. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty for all.
Thank you, Isaac. Mr. Emmett, student staff presentation.
Yes, we have with us this evening a local celebrity, and that local celebrity would be Mr. Patrick Cohn, our principal at Hanmer Elementary School. Mr. Cohn was named the recipient of the William Slikowski Outstanding First Year Principal Award winner for 2020-2021. Patrick was nominated by staff, and in addition to Patrick, we had support from yours truly, as well as Mrs. DeStoli, Patrice Motter, behavior specialist, and Pam Zemecki, paraprofessional, as well as Becky Weaver, art teacher. Patrick competed against principals from across the state and was recognized for his excellent work in his first year at Hanmer School. So I'd like to turn it over at this point in time to Patrick, just to say a couple of words, if you could, please. Just unmute yourself.
All right. Mr. Emmett, thank you very much. Mrs. Estoli, thank you. I want to thank the Wethersfield community for welcoming me, especially the Hanmer community. I can't say enough about how fantastic it is to be a part of this community. My family and I have been welcomed so well, and the support here is amazing. We work so well and so collaboratively. My principal teammates across the district, and the teachers at Hanmer, our students, our families at Hanmer. It's just a wonderful place to be. From the moment I sat down in that office and looked out over Standish Park, I knew I was in the right place, and I'm very appreciative and grateful to be here. Even amidst all this stuff that's going on, I can't imagine doing this anywhere else, and so I'm very, very thankful. So thank you all very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Cohn. Anyone have any comments? All right. Thank you, Mr. Cohn. We are fortunate to have you here, and thank you for joining us tonight, and congratulations again.
Mr. Carey, Miss Evans, did you have something? I'm sorry.
I just wanted to say thank you because I'm on the board, but obviously I'm a parent. We talk about Hanmer all the time, and Lou's there too, so I'm sure he agrees with me that it has been a wonderful year, even despite distance learning and being away. We did we had a parade yesterday for like a drive-by parade for the kids to see their teachers, and Mr. Cohn was out there with the kindergartners first thing in the morning, and when I swung on by at 2 o'clock, he was still out there with his mask on, and it's really, really nice to see him out there, and he talks to everybody, and the kids love him, and I'm just so happy that my kids, have such a great, and all those kids at Hanmer, it's just the cutest school, and Mr. Cohn, we just are so happy, and big congratulations. Very, very well deserved.
Thank you, Miss Evans. Sorry I missed you. I had us on single view. Anyone else? All right, excellent. Thank you, Mr. Cohen.
Thank you, Mr. Cohen.
Mr. Emmett, any other student staff recognition?
None this evening, sir?
Thank you. Moving on to approval of minutes. Elaine, may I get a motion to approve the May 21st,
Motion to-
2020? Yep.
Motion to approve minutes of May 21st Special Board of Education meeting.
Second?
Thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. Thank you. Ms. Paradise, next motion?
Motion to approve meeting of May 26th of our regular Board of Education meeting.
Second?
Any questions or comments? Seeing none, with a motion on the floor, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. Thank you.
Was that Mr. Briley that seconded or Mr. Michaels?
Mr. Michaels,
Thank you.
no problem. Public comment, we had no emails. Mr. Emmett, do we have a phone call? Anyone on the phone?
No, no one in the queue, Mr. Carey?
Thank you. Moving on to communications. Mr. Emmett.
Thank you, Mr. Carey. Good evening, everyone. I want to start off this evening by offering an apology for a communication I sent out last Wednesday concerning the murder of George Floyd. I made an inadvertent error in the spelling of Mr. Floyd's name, and I apologize for that inadvertent error, and I appreciated the feedback from those who identified it. Moving forward, I want to make sure everyone knows that I will be certain to be very careful in proofreading my communications. On Friday evening, I participated in the protest, and it is clear that while we may have made some progress, we still have a long way to go. Over the course of the weekend, I heard from students, I heard from teachers, and I heard from parents, each of them willing to lend their voice to support change. What will this look like? Well, it'll be a continuation of staff training to identify implicit bias and increase cultural awareness until every staff member in this district has been trained. It will be accessing resources offered through CREC and our partners in the Open Choice Office. It will be about listening to student voices and supporting a learning environment where all students feel equal. It will be about expanding our minority teacher recruitment so that we may create a more diverse environment for our learners. It will be about ensuring that every student leaving the Wethersfield Public Schools is afforded the same tools and supports as afforded as opposed to being marginalized by perception. Let me say that again. It will be about ensuring that every student leaving the Wethersfield Public Schools is afforded the same tools and supports to succeed, as opposed to being marginalized by perception. I don't intend for this issue to fade as the news cycle shifts. We need to be on this. This is going to be a long-standing process. It isn't going to be easy, but we need to do better. A couple of other items for you this evening. I had the opportunity and the privilege to attend the Wethersfield Transition Academy and its virtual graduation ceremony this morning. I'd like to wish congratulations to both Sarah and Aleem on your tremendous accomplishments. Wethersfield High School graduation. The class of 2020 descended upon Wethersfield High School yesterday, socially distanced in small groups, to pick up material, drop off materials, pick up caps and gowns, pick up yearbooks, and get placards for Friday's motorcade. SafeGrad also had stations set up for seniors to visit. I'm sure Isaac will have more on that. The weather looks good for the motorcade on Friday. It does begin at 3 p.m. Details are available on the website. Also like to announce this evening that in addition to Friday's event, we are currently planning for Wethersfield High School seniors to return to Catone Field on July 6th for the speeches, the student awards, and the turning of the tassels. With the governor's recent executive order that allows us to have up to 150 people at a gathering, we expect to be able to break this down into two groups. It will be students only. It will be out at Catone Field. This will be an opportunity for our students who have created their speeches to be able to present them live as opposed to having to do it virtually. We have a rain date of July 7th. This will happen again on Monday, July 6th. It will take place in the morning. There will be additional details being posted to our website this evening, and we'll have more information for students as the time draws closer. We look at this as an opportunity for our seniors to be able to get together one more time, albeit in two groups as opposed to one, and to recognize our great class of 2020. You may have heard yesterday and today we had elementary drive-throughs. This was an opportunity for our staff and our students to be able to say goodbye. This has been an extraordinarily difficult year, and the trauma that our students have felt this year, our families have felt, and our staff have felt have been palpable. To be over at Hammer today, to see second graders come and pick up their materials, it made your heart ache. It was wonderful on one end, and on the other end, it was just plain sad. We're hopeful that we can get our kids back here in the fall, and we can reconnect emotionally with our kids. It's been a long haul from March to June. Sixth graders are going to become the stars of the show beginning tomorrow. We've got step-up ceremonies coming up. So each of those has been scheduled by each individual school. So we look forward to saying farewell to our sixth graders and welcoming them up to Silas Dean for grade 7. With regard to summer programming, just so everyone knows, our ESY program, Extended School Year program, will take place virtually this summer. Mrs. DeStoli has developed a class program called Skills Maintenance, and it is at the elementary level. That will be taking place this summer, and it allows our students the opportunity to be able to maintain skills. Technology will remain in the hands of our students over the course of the summer, with the exception of our seniors. So we expect that our students will still have the ability to connect and maintain those skills. This was a sign-up process, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mrs. DeStoli, I think we had full classes within the scope of about 3 hours. Am I correct?
We did. Our initial offering sold out incredibly fast, and so we're excited that we were able to actually double our enrollment. We had roughly about 200 students initially that most had sold out the first day, and so we've actually been able to double our enrollment and able to have more teachers interested in teaching classes.
In addition to that, for our students in grades 7 through 12, we have an Edgenuity opportunity. This is an online program. One of the things that typically our seniors will do, or not our seniors, but our high school students, they will look to the West Hartford Public Schools for summer school. West Hartford is not offering summer school programming for students outside of West Hartford this summer. So this will be an opportunity for our kids to pick up that credit that they may have lost and maintain those skills as well. With the Y program, our school buildings are closed this summer. As you know, the Y program is still exploring space opportunities here in Wethersfield. Now they're looking at a couple of different churches. Their registration is still open. We understand from Josue and Sarah from the Y program that in the event they are unable to find space here in Wethersfield, they will offer up seats in other area towns where Y programs will be running over the course of the summer. As we wrap up this school year, I talked a little bit about reopening. This was certainly an unbelievable year, to say the least. We are immediately turning our attention to the planning for reopening in the fall next week. We have a committee meeting coming up, and we will be looking at multiple different options for what in-person schooling may look like. Each of these options will carry their own impacts, so these will need to be weighed very carefully. The health and safety of our students and our staff members will continue to drive our planning. That is priority number 1. We will be sharing updates with you frequently over the course of the summer, as well as looking for parental input. We're also awaiting additional guidance from the State Department of Education as well. This summer certainly promises to be a busy one. And with that, that is communications. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Abbott. Moving on to action items. Mr. Healy, I believe you have a motion?
Yeah. Hold on. Yes, Mr. Chairman. Just scroll up to it. As you know, earlier, in the earlier meeting, we had to rescind some non-renewable notices or non-renewable. So we issued non-renewable notices for teachers, but thankfully tonight I can make a motion to approve to rescind the non-renewable notices of teachers. I move that the Wethersfield Board of Education rescind the action taken on April 28, 2020 regarding the non-renewable notices of the following 52 non-tenured teachers. And I hope you'll bear with me. I have to read these all to the record. 903-157, 904-185, 904-688, 905-564, 905-832, 905-908, 906-126, 906-171, 906-180, 906-182, 906-183, 906-185, 906-186, 906-188, 906-196, 906-335, 906-339, 906-352, 906-357, 906-359, 906-360, 906-361. Also 906-364, 906-366, 906-406, 906-419, 906-421, 906-427, 906-433, 906-443, 906-445, 906-446, 906-448, 906-449, 906-451, 906-452, 906-453, 906-470, 906-481, 906-496, 906-527, 906-529, 906-531, 906-532, 906-533, 906-536, 906-538, 906-541, 906-545, 906-546, 906-548, and 906-147.
Thank you, Mr. Healy. Do we have a second?
I second that motion.
Thank you, Ms. Granado. Mr. Emmett, any background comments?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Carey. You know, this budget season, like the pandemic, was very unusual. And I think that I have to say that the transparency of this budget process, the fact that we were able to start it earlier, we got a head start on it. We worked collaboratively with council as well as fellow board members to really try and make good, solid decisions. I think we were very fiscally prudent this year in terms of recognizing savings that we could apply to next year's budget. And, you know, in the grand scheme of things, to be able to bring back all of our teachers and maintain our programs is truly a win. So I'm very, very happy that this is coming before you this evening.
Thank you. Any board members with comments? All right, seeing none, there's a motion on the floor. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes 9-0. Thank you, everyone. Mr. Lesser, I believe you have a motion to make.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thankfully my motion isn't as difficult as Chris Healy's motion. He had quite a motion to read, but I move that the Wethersfield Board of Education approve an unpaid leave of absence for employee number 906022 under the provisions of Article 533 of the current agreement between the Wethersfield Board of Education and the Wethersfield Federation of Teachers. This request is for leave beginning on August 24th, 2020 and continuing through the entirety of the 2020 and 2021 school year. This requested leave will follow a 12-week FMLA absence to conclude the 2019-2020 school year.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Mr. Emmett?
Yeah, we have had contact with the administration at the school where this teacher resides. We have a substitute currently in place. We do not see this as being any type of disruption to the educational process and support this request of leave.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Seeing none with a motion on the floor, All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion passes. Thank you. Moving on to the next item, discussion item, reports and discussion items. Please check your weekly updates for meetings. We have a meeting tomorrow night, and I'm not expecting too many committee meetings as we roll into the summer, but please keep an eye on that. Board of Education meetings held. Wethersfield Early Childhood Collaborative, Ms. Granato.
Okay, the WECC, Wethersfield Early Child Collaborative, met on Monday, June 8th, by a virtual meeting. The mission of WECC is that all Wethersfield children birth to 8 are healthy, developmentally successful learners and connected to the community. And added to that mission during the pandemic is that all children are fed and are provided with social and emotional support. Michael Emmett and I were both in attendance. A report on the Wethersfield census shows that 76.6% of Wethersfield citizens have completed their census. Please, let's all work for 100% of this. It's such an important census. The UConn PEP group for this year has completed their course. Graduation is postponed to a later date. This is the 4th year of this very successful program of people empowering people. This year's PEP activity raised $3,500 for the food bank with the front porch portraits. What great work. This summer's kindergarten program will be conducted through distance learning. These students will be attending kindergarten in the fall but have not experienced any preschool. Each student will receive an iPad, a package of school supplies, and will attend an 8-day learning program. The training piece of the Messenger program, sponsored by a United Way grant, has been completed, and the messengers are now working to communicate with all town services, to announce all town services to those citizens who may need them. And Michael already referred to this, but this summer, the Wethersfield Public School is excited to offer CLASS, which is continuing learning across summer sessions. It's a virtual summer pilot program focused on boosting students' academics, literacy, and numeracy skills during the summer months for 6 weeks. This program will be conducted through distant learning platforms, and this class is offered at no cost. However, enrollment is on first come, first served basis, which I guess was overwhelmingly successful. And please visit the link, class flyer K-12, for more information. And finally, as Michael also mentioned, the Y program will be operating for almost 30 to 40 families this summer, depending on the availability of a suitable site. Please check their website for further information. And that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Granato. Meeting scheduled. Tomorrow night, we have a special Board of Education meeting, 6/10/20 at 6:30 p.m. And on 6/23/20, we have the Finance and Operation Committee meeting at 6 p.m. There is no unfinished business. Public comment. Mr. Emmett, is anyone on the phone for public comment?
There are none, Mr. Carey. There are none, Mr. Carey.
Thank you, Mr. Emmett. And we received no emails as well. Moving on to board comment. Any board members wishing to make comment?
I'd like to say something, Chuck. Is that all right? Elaine?
Yes, Ms. Paradise, yep.
Okay.
Yes, the floor is yours.
Thank you, sir. I would like to ask the board if they're agreeable to sending a nice congratulations note to Laura Velda. I'm not sure I said it right, Mike. She's our new Teacher of the Year representing Wethersfield, and I think, I know I want to congratulate her, but I think all 9 of us would like to, and I'm not sure everybody could see that or
It's coming
saw
up.
that with all that's going on.
Yeah, it's coming up on the 23rd. They're next.
So I just wanted to know that we can all congratulate her. So
Absolutely.
if you pass that on, it'd be great, Mike.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Paradise. Anyone else wishing to make comment? Mr.
Mr.
Neely?
Carey. No good. You're on mute, Chris. Chris, you're on mute.
Sorry. It's actually a question to Mike. You mentioned that there's a committee being formed to discuss or to implement, to issue things with the potential reopening. Could you explain to the board what that committee is, who's comprised that committee as briefly as you could?
Yeah, that'll be administrators, that'll be teachers. We have the board chair who's on as well. We'll be encompassing the Central Connecticut Health District, so Charles Brown will have a seat there. We'll also encompass Chloe Bobrowski, obviously that we're dealing with health and safety. So Chloe serves, as you may recall, Chloe serves on a state committee. So she's gotten a lot of great information and can help guide the process for us in terms of moving forward. I also anticipate that we'll be utilizing some survey data, much like we did with regard to our distance learning plan, to provide parents with the opportunity to kind of weigh in. It's interesting, as we moved forward, we had several parents that have reached out, and I've had the gamut. I've had parents that feel they'd like to continue distance learning, to parents that have been, please, Mr. Emmett, open up schools, let's get them back in. So it's a larger group of people at this point in time. We will be breaking off into subcommittees. Obviously, as I mentioned, some of the impacts that we may face. Let's say, for example, we decide to run a morning and an afternoon session in order to keep the numbers down. That would have implications on the business side, so we'd have Matt involved in that process in terms of what would it cost for transportation. If we went with an A-B schedule, and we limited the number of kids, say, in the cafeteria, we'd have physical services involved so that we could look at what would cleaning look like, would lunch be served in classrooms. Many, many, many questions coming forward with this. So we're looking at it from a multidisciplinary standpoint to ensure that we have all stakeholders involved.
Well, to that point of all stakeholders, I'm just going to throw this out there. I think it's really important that parents take an active role in this process and are not, and I don't mean to say afterthought, but we then bring it to them. Mm-hmm. And I think we have plenty of PTO people that we can reach out to or not. I don't know what the process is. But there are a lot of parents out there that want to go back to school. I think most do. Mm-hmm. And I also am concerned about parents of special ed children as well. And the challenges that you face, I understand. But I think we need to be sensitive to the fact that this pandemic luckily came in the spring in a sense, but as we go back into the fall, with people going back to work and the potential strain of distance learning, I think our attitude should be about going back to school. And I appreciate the health department being involved, and I'd like to, at some point, and this is a bigger discussion, we need to settle on this science, because there's a lot of information out there that parents come to me with and I see about whether or not this issue of spreading it among children is real. The fact that the cost of running 2 or 3 shifts, and as you all know, that we didn't discuss, the reason we're doing distance learning for summer school is that the program that the state of Connecticut outlined, which I shared with the members, was totally unworkable. It was doomed to fail from the beginning. We all know that. We saw it. It's ridiculous. But that's what the state does. They give us ridiculous plans, and then when we can't meet them, they say, well, okay, well, we tried. We all looked at our exercise. We all know that was the distancing, the cost, the idea that we're going to have kids wearing masks for 6 hours, 4 hours at a time, and teachers for 4 hours at a time are just not workable. I mean, we can talk about the health issues as well, but I think we need to have the parents involved in these meetings on some level, and whether we go up to the PTOs and give them a shot at it to see if they'd like to volunteer, but at the very least, if we can't, then we need to aggressively explain to the people of this district through Zoom meetings, through others, where we're going with this. What are the options? I know you're working extremely hard. I'm proud of what you're doing. I know it's not easy. I get all the stuff you get. I can't begin to get my head around it. But this issue of whether or not we go back to school, you know, and how has got many parents extremely agitated and worried. And I don't think just throwing our hands up and saying we're going to go back to distance learning is going to cut it next year. That's just my position. I'm not saying I reflect any other board member, but in the emails and the occasional wanderings around I do in this town, that's the feeling I get. Mm-hmm. So I'll leave you with that.
Thank you. Appreciate that perspective.
Thank you, Mr. Haley. Mr. Lesser, you had your hand raised.
Yes, thank you, Chuck. I appreciate that. So a few things. First, I wanted to thank the students who led the protest and participated in the protest on Friday. They did a great job and it was peaceful. I also want to thank Michael for attending and speaking, and your comments earlier tonight, Michael, about a community-wide effort to improve on this, and anything that we can do to support that, or me personally, and I hope that parents and members of the community will be involved, and students as well, in efforts to improve. And then I also wanted to thank Michael, Sally, all administrators, all teachers. This was a very difficult end of the year, close of the year. I know this is the last week of school, and all the administrators, teachers, students, parents, this did a phenomenal job under very, very trying circumstances. So I wanted to say a big thank you. And then lastly, I wanted to let folks know that may not know, Friday night was supposed to be the 5th annual Wethersfield Mayor's Charity Ball. We've raised, I think some of you know, $100,000 for 3 charities, preschool scholarships in Wethersfield, weekend backpack program for food insecure kids, and fresh produce for senior citizens in Wethersfield, some of our poorest seniors. We are doing a virtual fundraiser for the month of June. I know, Michael, I thank you for putting that up on the Facebook page, as we want to. These programs are only funded by the Mayor's Ball. They're not funded by any town budgets, and they'll go unfunded unless we get donations. So I just wanted to mention the Mayor's Ball fundraiser, and then the big thank yous I said before. So thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Lutz. Anyone else wishing to make comment? Ms. Granato.
The Wethersfield Education Foundation met in a virtual meeting on Thursday, May 28th, and they are focusing on a teacher appreciation fundraiser that I want to make sure gets out there. The foundation sponsored it during Teacher Appreciation Week and is again sponsoring it for the end of the school year. And as we've been saying, the school year certainly showed us the commitment of our Wethersfield teachers. Donations to the Wethersfield Education Foundation in a teacher's name will be followed with a thank you to the donor and a notice to the teacher. The money donated will then be used for mini grants that will be distributed by the foundation this fall to enhance our school's curriculum. So it's a win-win, and I hope all the PTO presidents and the school principals have informed their families of this fundraiser, and information is also available on the Wethersfield Education Fund site, website. I want to take this opportunity to congratulate our class of 2020. I know that the ending of the school year was different from what we've all come to know and love, but you are truly special in our hearts and minds for keeping your heads high and your hearts open. You are a courageous group of young people. And finally, I am fortunate to be a Wethersfield lifer, and also very fortunate to have taught for 40 years in our school system. I know that we are a community that cares for all its citizens, but do we often need to change? And the answer is yes. And we can change, and it can be through thoughtful and civil, peaceful discourse. I want to thank Olivia Washington and Jordan Griffin for their organization of a recent peaceful demonstration for Black Lives Matter. We all must embrace the need for change and learn to move into this 21st century with a focus of care and respect for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Granato. Anyone else wishing to make comments? Mr. Riley.
I did want to mention that Camp Sunrise is going on, and that's in Glastonbury. And I'm very excited that all 3 of my kids will be going to that.
Excellent.
So that's good news. I also had an interview with Mark Danaher for the Career Advisory Board. So they're certainly doing a great job, and I'm fortunate to be involved with them. And as far as special education, my son PJ he's done pretty well, but there's nothing like structure, and I'm hopeful that there will be classroom instruction come the fall. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Riley. Anyone else? Isaac? You're muted, though.
Thank you.
There you go. Yes, sir.
Members of the Board of Education and Superintendent Mr. Michael Emmett, school is basically over and students are just days away from hanging up their backpacks and getting a beach towel ready for summer vacation. Seniors are returning their Chromebooks throughout this week and have already received their cap and gowns, yearbooks, safeguard baskets filled with some merch, and some snacks as well. They are all now ready for the Friday's graduation motorcade ceremony, and I'm sure they'll be excited to hear that July 6th they'll get the opportunity to move their tassels and hear the speeches in a live presentation. The 2019 and 2020 school year has been quite the year, and it's unfortunate that it ended so soon. Finally, I'd like to thank the members of the Board of Education, Superintendent Mr. Emmett, for allowing me to have this opportunity of being the Wethersfield High School student representative for the Board of Ed. I'd also like to thank the students from Wethersfield High School, from the freshmen and sophomores to juniors and seniors, for allowing me to be a voice and granting me the privilege of being seated amongst all of you, even though it's virtual now. I was honored to represent the school, the student body, and the school, and this will be an experience I will not forget. Thank you for this amazing experience, and good luck to whoever may be the next.
Thank you, Isaac.
Isaac.
Thank you, Isaac.
All right, we'll let Isaac end with those comments. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
A second.
Second?
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. Thank you, everyone. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone. Be safe.
Good night, everyone.
Night.